Hi, I'm Margie Holmes, psychologist, author, and educator. Today we continue our discussion on female sexuality, but this time we'll focus on questions and comments on female masturbation. NT asks, is it normal for a woman to masturbate? At J. Molly asks, do women masturbate? And my answers to those are yes and yes. May asks, why can't some women masturbate? And T has an opinion. Why are women denounced if they do? And in my opinion now, it's threatening if women masturbate, you see, because it gives the implication that women don't need men to attain sexual pleasure. And there are some people who would, again, using the prostitute-Madonna dichotomy, will say that if you can masturbate, then does that mean you're a prostitute and not the Madonna? Because the Madonna, usually men are willing to help you. Men are willing to serve you. But for you to actually know your body, for you not to need men to let you know your body, it's a little iffy. And that's why I think women are frightened to masturbate. And that is why women are judged when they masturbate. Lynn says, I often wonder why some women enjoy masturbating and some don't. To which Genevieve has a theory, most women are afraid to admit that they are into masturbating. They are just hiding their desires. I think one reason why some women don't enjoy masturbating is that they don't give in to their desires, as Genevieve says. Because if one is a little frightened and one is saying, am I being malaswa, really, as people say I am because I masturbate? Then, your attention is divided. And as you know, sex, including masturbation, is not a spectator sport. If you are watching yourself reacting, then it's very, very rare that you will find pleasure in it. JC says, some women feel that it's wrong to please themselves. Some even think that it's a sin. They think that it is only the man's responsibility to get them aroused. The best way to learn is to please ourselves in our own privacy. Bottom line, one should know how to please oneself. Fair Mendoza says, I think women who don't or can't masturbate are sexually paranoid. Boy, Fair, I love it that you don't mince your words. No punches pulled. It's debatable, yes, but exploring one's sexuality and knowing what and how one can be satisfied is healthy. Eroticism is self-love actualized. I agree with you there, Fair, 100%. If we love ourselves, then we can love others. My 2 cents worth. Yes, and perhaps what might be more accurate is if we love ourselves, then we are not only more likely, but more willing to love others. If we are happy within ourselves, we don't feel we're deprived, then all the more we can give more freely to others. Liza Grace Cavales, society dictates so much that women feel bad when they talk about masturbation. I hope those days are gone. Women should feel free. Women should be liberated from the expectations of those who desire to keep them from expressing themselves. Anonymous shares, I started masturbating at the age of 12 and it was a regular stress reliever ever since. After a while, when I made paraos na, the limbog factor diminished with the number of times I had. Anonymous continues, I lost my virginity just last year. Hinabol ko lang before my 30th birthday. Happy birthday! Sexual contact was never a priority since I am satisfied with pleasuring myself. Yun nga lang, may lucid intervals where I crave to touch a male body. Having sex is not as satisfying for me as masturbation. Or do you call this sexual capacity and I haven't reached it yet? I think, your ideas about yourself are spot on. And in a way, you're very, very lucky that you enjoy masturbating more than you do having sex. Because that means if you look to a man and you want to have sex with him, it's not so much because you're dying or deprived, but it's because you like this person and do want to have sex with him. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be heterosexist. If you look for a man or you look for a fellow woman, right? And that is good. And what did you ask about? Nagpapahabol. That's fine, you know. I think it's a wonderful idea, though it's not something I suggest to everyone, that habulin mo so you make sure you have sex before a certain time, okay? It makes sense also that you enjoy masturbating more than making love because you know your body better. Now, if you're lucky, especially if you have a relationship with your partner will be willing to learn what position you enjoy most, how deep you want the thrust in case you finger yourself, although most women, according to research, do mainly clitoral stimulation when they masturbate. But there are so many things a person can learn about your preferences if you know what your preferences actually are. Okay? And now we have questions about the G-spot. Now, the G-spot is supposed to be a pea-sized spot 2 inches within the vagina of a woman, okay? And the G-spot is supposed to be a spot that is so powerful that when you stimulate it sufficiently, a woman gets orgasms like she never had before. And she emits or ejaculates liquid, and the liquid is not urine and neither is it semen because they've studied the composition. They still don't know what it is, okay? So E asks, why do other women have the power of squirting and others don't have it? Okay, before I answer that E, let me go to the other. Penny for your thoughts asks, squirting excites my man, but it doesn't always happen. Is there a technique there? Okay, first of all, the research shows that only about 50% of women have found their G-spot, you know. And while generally, if you're looking for it, it is, you know, if you have a mirror in front of you, it is usually in the 6 or the 9 o'clock position. However, you know, people's bodies are different, so it could be in the 3 or 9 o'clock position or anywhere else around the circumference of imagining you have a clock in front of you, right? And okay, not everybody has a G-spot. I think your man loves it because he feels he has the capacity to do things to you that other men do not have the capacity to do to their women, okay? So do not worry if you don't have a G-spot. Do not fall to the oppression that you are more of a woman if you have a G-spot and can squirt rather than lubricate vaginally. Do not worry if you know, the other oppressions we have is multi-orgasm. Do not worry if you're not multi-orgasmic, if you don't have simultaneous orgasms with your partners, etc. Okay? Now, going back to female masturbation, Rowena says, I enjoy masturbation more than real contact. Is that normal? It can be normal, and there are a lot of reasons for that, but going further, one of the reasons is exactly what you said, Rowena, which is I feel pain pag real contact. Normal po ba na 3 to 5 days bago ang period ng isang babae, nakakalibog yung feeling? Yes, normal lahat. There are theories, I won't go into too much, is that this is the time when you're fertile. So, the more you want to have sex during your fertile period, you know, the more chances you have of getting pregnant. Okay, and your body fixes you that way, and that is why birth control is so important if you don't want to get pregnant. Okay, now going back, sometimes if your man is not a good enough lover, or you know, not to blame it on the man, if you don't care to teach him or you're too shy to teach him, then what happens is he doesn't know, so he can be clumsy. You know, like what we said last week about there are frigid women and there are clumsy men, and they're usually married or paired off with each other. You can help your partner not to be clumsy, and if he's not clumsy, usually chances of being hurt are less. Because, you know, this old myth that, oh, it hurts me because his penis is too big. That's what it is. It's a myth. Okay, so I guess I'd like to end this show when we talk about, is it normal for women to masturbate? Yes. How do women masturbate as much as men? Well, statistics show that they don't. The latest research that I saw was about 60 to 67% of women have admitted to masturbating, okay? And like I think I shared with you before, and if I did, it bears repeating, and men seem to masturbate a lot more, or more men masturbate. And to quote a Lasalite priest, he said, 99% of men masturbate, and 1% of them lie. Okay, so that's it for today. Let us know what other topics you want us to discuss. Send in your questions or your comments or suggestions on Facebook, tweet using the hashtag AskMargie, or send an email to askmargie@rappler.com. See you next week.